Last week, we started looking at some of the classic Bible stories. Part of the reason was to just refresh ourselves. Maybe it's been a while since we've heard some of these stories. Because maybe one time we really break out the Bible is, and the pastor tells us every Sunday morning. Or maybe he hasn't preached in that part of the Bible in a while. Maybe the last time you heard about creation was back when you attended Sunday school. And there are some stories which probably a lot of us maybe have never heard about. Don't worry, we're not doing every single story in the Bible. But we're hitting the major one. Talking about not only for our own rejuvenation, but also to make sure the next generation knows. That it becomes so intrinsic to our being that we know these stories as well as our own life story in our relationship to Jesus. That we can tell the next generation all about. And they will have the knowledge. And they will not be like the generations which followed Moses and Joshua, who knew not of their God and started serving other gods. We do not have a Molech and a Baal, but we do have other gods of Baal. The dollar bill, among one of them. Time being another. Possessions. You name it, you can make it into a god. If someone really wanted to, they can make this post right here into a god in their lives. I don't know what type of person that would be, mind you, but they could. We want them to know the truth. So that they don't trip over pumpkins, but they know God. Last week we did look at creation. We broke down the days of creation to what was created on each day, and hopefully became awed by the grandeur of our God and His love for us. For example, we talked about if we had placed a speck of sand representing earth on this corner and went out 3 feet and put a marble, that marble would be the size of our sun, comparative, and the distance. The next closest star from that would be 150 miles away. And yet we're only a speck upon a speck upon a speck on that sand. And our God who created all of that just to the nearest star, 150 miles, allowed us to come and become a speck with us and die for us. And He gave all of this creation for us to take pleasure in and to give Him the glory. But we're going beyond that today. Today we are looking at how we fit into creation. God did create us. But He not only created us and just loved us, but He sought to have a relationship with us. If you continue reading the Genesis account, yes, God created the world in 6 days, rested on the seventh, but what did He do on day 8? He walked in the garden with Adam and Eve. He walked with His creation, fellowship, communed, just had a good old time. That would have been a great experience. I guess I have Jesus in my heart, and I have some understanding of that. But the daily, I know God, and not be worried about sin, because I did not know sin at that time. Oh, one day I will have that experience. When Christ comes again and I've been made new body with no sin. Until then, I have the Holy Spirit within me, and I can use that as a hope, as a view, so that one day, when I can, like Adam before sin, walk with God. That is the love that God had for his creation, specifically us. Not just creating something and then letting it be, but a deep love. Think about it this way. We all have made various things in our lifetime. When you make something, you spend a lot of time and energy on it. You want it to be perfect. You consider all the implications of what is the best way to go about making this wonderful piece of craftsmanship. And then when it's done, you have the biggest smile on your face. You want to show it off to the world. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? You take joy in it. But then something happens. It's called time. And time has a way of ruining that relationship. First of all, because we are finite creatures, we can only make finite things. Over time, those items which we have made slowly deteriorate. They might get bumped up against and chipped, and scraped, or whatever. And slowly they start to deteriorate. And so they lose some of that specialness in our heart. The second thing is, not only has the creation changed, but us as creators have changed. Because time has passed, and we don't only make one thing, but we get ideas to make new and better things. So what we made back in 2006 doesn't mean has had much value now in us as what we just made yesterday. Because we've learned from what we did in 2006. And now, 12 years later, we're making things even more miraculous. And these new, more wonderful things, we cherish even more. That's how we do it. But God did not do it that way. He created us. And His loved us ever since. His love has not diminished. It has not been replaced. There's nothing higher than us that He loves even more. That is true, deep love. God doesn't love you less than He did Adam. He loves you. He sent His Son to die for you. But yet, many people have come across the thing of seeing God as not being that close. They don't feel His presence walking with them, living in their heart. This has occurred throughout history, but one period in particular which I'm thinking of was the age of enlightenment. Around the birth of our nation. People believed in God. They could look at creation and say, look at how all this is made. It works so well. It's like a timepiece. Nothing's out of place. And if this didn't happen, it couldn't be just randomly coming together. It has to be an intelligent design behind it. Someone who handcrafted this. And therefore, they believe in God. And they are called deists. Now, these deists, which basically means those who believe in God, basically left God there. He created the world, then stepped away. He wound up His timepiece called creation, and let it go. And George, just let me know if I hit the things, okay? But He wound up creation and let it go. And basically did not do anything else. He let his creation go in place. And therefore the deists don't really believe in miracles because it goes against rational thought. Therefore, they don't see Jesus as the Son of God, but a great moral teacher. Some of these were our founding fathers, like John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. And they were so caught in this deistic thought that they rewrote the New Testament, or especially the Gospels. I have here the Jefferson Bible. Everything where Jesus was miraculously born, any miracle he did, taken out. Now all of his teachings are here. Jesus was a great moral teacher, and who helped us to live to the greatest of our capacity, but any miracles were tossed out. Now, reflecting upon that mentality myself, if I had to choose just between not being why I believe in Jesus Christ, but by being a deist who believes God created me and then left, versus being an atheist who I just randomly got here, in a way I'm most leaning towards being an atheist. Because I'd rather not know love and just think I randomly got here than think, some God created me and didn't care enough to stay around. I would rather not know love at all than being tossed aside. But our God says, no, I do love you. He says throughout the Bible, again, that He loves us and cares for us. And it's starting as early as in Deuteronomy. He starts referring to us as His children. Not just His creation, but His children. Having that personal relationship with us. Now, a few people in the Bible caught on at first. It took a while. Abraham was one. Moses was another. David another. But there are others who did not. And even some of our patriarchs. Isaac and Jacob. Why do I say that? Because it said Abraham knew God. Moses knew God face to face. David, that's the apple of God's eye. But Isaac referred to God as the father of my God, Abraham. No, the God of my father, Abraham. Sorry. Get the right. Jacob, God, you're the God of my father Isaac and my grandfather Abraham. It was their ancestors' God. That relationship was becoming more and more distant. But God was saying, I am your father, you are my children. Recognize that. Love it and appreciate it. So it's not God pushing himself away, as the deists proclaim. It's us pushing God away. We are those unruly kids who say, no, Mom, Dad, I do not know you. Remember those years as a teenager? Folks, spiritually, we are in puberty. Mom, Dad, we want nothing to do with you. You embarrass us to get away. And that's how we are treating God. And yet, He calls us His dear children. I value what our deist forefathers brought in regards to this country. They gave us the freedom to know and worship our God. I just feel sorry for them. That they did not go that next step. Seeing God as more than just a creator. But knowing God as your best friend. Your guide, your comrade, the one who will pick you up when you're at your lowest. The one who is always right there beside you, even when you don't realize it, and when you're ready to yell out their name to come, before you even finish saying the G in God, He's already picking you up. That is the perfect parent. That is our God. We are His children. Take pleasure in it. We may not have many kids here in our presence on a Sunday morning by age. But we are all children. Methuselah, who lived to be 969 years of age, was a child. So what are we? We're infants. We're infants, we're teenagers, wherever you want to put us, we're still a kid in God's eyes. We're loved. We're cherished. The question is, now that you know your position, are you going to keep pushing him away? He will not give up on running to you. He's like the father in the prodigal son story. Saw the son off and running. That's our Father, our Heavenly Father. But let us always be drawing Him, cherish Him, love Him, walk with Him in spirit. We may not be able to walk with Him in the garden right now, but we can walk with Him in our heart. Love Him, give Him the praise, show Him how much you love Him and adore Him. Sing praises to Him in the morning, pray to Him at night, and do everything else in between to know and love and cherish your God. Christianity is not a religion of doctrine. It is a religion of a relationship. Love God, love your mom and dad. Show them all the affection that He deserves. Because He deserves a lot for all that He's done for us. Created us, put up with us, redeemed us, forgave us. Repeat the process time and time again as we make mistakes. And He did it for you and me because He loves us. Are we loving Him back? Are we loving that child of God that you are? Are you being that wonderful child that He asks you to be? He knows you'll still make mistakes. He'll still know you'll throw a temper tantrum every so often. That's us as children. We want our way. But always go to the Father. And realize you are a blessing and a joy in His sight, no matter how you come. Let's pray. Lord God, I hope that our view of you has changed a little in these past few Sundays. First of all, realizing how wonderful you are and how awesome you are and all that you've created, and you did it for us to know you and to be inspired by you, to come to know you through your creation. But then, dear Lord, realizing that as we are a part of that creation, we are more than the rest. For we alone are blessed to be called children of the God Most High. And it's just not a title, it is a relationship. We are your children. Help us not to be like the prodigal son and shove you away, but to embrace you, to love you, to pour out our emotions to you, the highs and the lows, and express our love and gratitude. Because that is what you brought. A relationship which we never knew before. A relationship that was restored through your Son and kept alive by the power of your Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. We love you. And to that we cry, Abba, Father, let your name be praised. Amen. Let us now